I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, everybody. We'll determine the quorum here with a roll call. Councilor Baumgartner is absent right now. Evers? Here. Ferguson?
Here.
I'm here. Howard? Here. We do have a quorum. We'll call the meeting to order. We'll begin with the public forum. I just want to mention that down on the agenda here, there is a discussion item 5A that addresses Cornland, USA. So there definitely will be some discussion time for that later down in the agenda. But now is the public forum portion of our meeting. So if anybody is here from the public to address council, now is the time to do that. When you do come forward to address council, we ask that you provide your name for the meeting record. Speaking time will be limited to 3 minutes, but if there are any questions or any unresolved business after those 3 minutes, we'll direct staff to continue the conversation offline. So if anybody from the public is here to address council, now's your time.
My name is Harry Hawkinson. I live in Olympia, Minnesota. I was a member of the city council when we started the swimming pool here in town. And we had quite a time getting that pool going. And I'm very proud of what the pool has done for our community. I have a suggestion to whomever is on the pool committee that I'm wondering why we do not promote the swimming pool. And by promoting it, I mean, how come we don't have something like in the shopper of the schedule that the pool is open? How come we don't have some promotions in regard to the pool? Like maybe a back to school swim or something like that, where they get a reduced rate. And also, how come we don't publish the rates for a family outing, as an example, a birthday party or things like that? We can all have these nice things. We can always say hey, we cover it on Facebook and all this kind of stuff. But we must remember that when we have it on there, not everybody in this world has faith. Okay? When we put it in the shopper, it covers many thousand people with one crack. A prime example of this is, why does the grocery store run a full page ad? Not for their health, for heaven's sake. They do it to promote the store. A lot of people look at that grocery ad to save money buying their groceries. So by having something in there on our swimming pool, which we should be doing, we should be very proud of that pool. There's a lot of people that are my age that are gone now that worked pretty hard to get that pool in town. That was not a cheap investment. So that's just my suggestion, that let's start promoting the pool so that it brings in some fun and not just considered an Olympia pool. It is a county indoor pool. Thank you.
John, can I say something?
Sure.
I think that is a great idea, and thank you for bringing it back up. We were gonna start doing, I am on the pool committee. We were gonna start doing that, but then we had the fire and then we had the addition and all that stuff, and our pool kind of returns to that. But thank you for bringing it back up. I'll make sure to message Tracy about that so we can discuss it.
Okay.
And thank you for bringing the pool and working so hard to get the pool to Olivia.
All right. Anybody else here to address council? Anybody online here to address council? Okay, seeing none, we'll end the public forum portion of the meeting and move into the approval and the setting of the agenda. We've had the agenda in front of us here for a while. There are a number of items on the consent agenda. If there's anything on the consent agenda that you would wish to bring out of the consent agenda and put in as a discussion item, now would be a good time to make that suggestion. Otherwise, if everything looks good for the council, I'll call for a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Sorry.
Motion's been made by Ferguson, seconded by Baumgartner to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, agenda is set as written. We'll move down to the consent agenda. It includes the meeting minutes from August 4, the first reading of ordinance 7, which is an amendment to the city code chapter 152 to repeal and replace sections 152.150 through 152.158 regulating signs. Resolution 69 calling for a public hearing on that very ordinance. Resolution 70 approving the dispensing with requirement of Minnesota statute 462.356 subdivision 2 for the EDA acquisition of property. Resolution 71 is accepting a quote for a roof liner. 72 is accepting a quote from West Central Roofing for roof repair to the library. Resolution 73 accepts a quote from Chapel Central for some HVAC stuff on the library. Resolution 74 is the authorization to hire Austin Mossick as an on-call part-time police officer. Resolution 75 is approval of donations. We have donations from Bex for movies in the park for the summer to the tune of $6,000 some odd dollars. Thank you very much, Bex. And the other
is a donation from 212 Soccer to help us replace the soccer net.
okay, thank you to 212 Soccer. Easement agreement between the city of Olivia and Tiger Properties. Energy efficiency and conservation strategies grant program agreement with MMDC. MMDC project proposal for the same plan. And MMDC professional services agreement. So that is our consent agenda. I'll call for a motion to approve it. So.
Second.
Motion's been made by Eber, seconded by Howard to approve the consent agenda as written. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, consent agenda carries as written, and we'll move into discussion item 5A. Regarding Cornland USA. Thank you, Sarah.
Can I stand there? Should I?
You can stand or sit.
Hello, good evening, council administrator, Parkinson and Mayor Hawkinson and parents, grandparents, and really awesome people in Olivia and the surrounding areas. My name is Sarah Mocker and I represent the pages of our community's foundation along with a couple board members with me tonight, Don Mertens and Kelsey Kingstrom. And it's been brought to my attention in the last year or two that grandparents, daycare moms with buses filled with children and other parents travel to, I had no idea, travel to Wilmer, Hutchinson, and Redwood Falls. And take the children and our monies out of Olivia, Renville County and go to experience these fantastic museum-based STEM and sensory learning locations outside our community. So I thought, what a great idea to bring that to Olivia so they can, what we're looking at or would like council approval is for 3 rooms in the lower level of the armory that I have toured with Elizabeth in the last couple of weeks. And we identified 3 rooms there that would be helpful for like 0 to 7, 0 to 8 years old. And then the area, the main area there, like a lunchroom, birthday party, or for obviously for all community members is available as well. So if you were gonna have a birthday party, you could bring cupcakes, ice cream, cake, and pizza and serve it on the one side, which is easy cleanup. And then in the 3 rooms, we'd have 1 room for 0 to 2. And if you saw in the packets, and I'm sure some of the pictures were included, I did do more extensive pictures, what I added this evening. But you can see in the room 0 to 2 years of age, maybe a couple of rocking chairs that we would probably enlist donations for, maybe a refrigerator, freezer. So if you had a birthday cake or pizza or something like that, or punch, they wanted to keep inside and refrigerated for that purpose. But there are some excellent opportunities for lockers in there for all different types of areas for kids to play. Is that, okay, is that inside the armory? There's a lower level?
Yeah, the lower level.
And I first did ask.
Zooming it out.
I asked if anybody had in the community had placed dibs on any of the room or with any interest yet, and I was told that it was just for kicks on Thursday nights currently.
Tuesday nights.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tuesday nights.
That's okay.
Corrected. So I thought it would be great because parents could come in, grandparents, and utilize the rooms. The foundation would start a capital campaign. We do have the initial seed money. And we've looked at other entities in the surrounding area as well for donations, but we do have enough money to get it rolling, which is super exciting, so kids could, for example, the barn, so that's why we went with the Cornland USA to stick with the egg theme within our community. That's what Farm Fest was before Farm Fest, it was Cornland USA in Olivia, between Olivia and Danny out in the country. And then they'd have a barn, and the horse has where you can braid the horse's hair. You know, it's all hands on for the kids. There's a chicken on the wall where it drops down the eggs and the kids can pick the eggs and put them in the basket. There's little horses on the side. There's a fire hall with a slide on the side. There's a fire truck you can purchase. There's a big, huge tractor that the kids can get inside of, you know, all hands on types of activities. Here are some of the pictures. And then there's, from there's a bank you can purchase with a vault with a actively working ATM. There's the fire hall. There's the scarves, you know, they're the, I don't know, what would you call that, Carol, Lori?
It's called flight,
Like with the scarves, they're
Yeah, they
like,
blow up.
they
Yeah.
blow up and it's really, they don't blow up, they just.
Yeah, right.
They rise
up.
to the top, yeah, they rise to the top, and if you go down just a little bit, I mean, go, or back up, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, the green ones there, those are called nuggets, and they can make forts, and then you buy extra covers, so they could be washable. And I spoke with Elizabeth about washing facilities, and I believe there's somebody already in place that cleans the armory. And the armory, you know, purchased it extremely cheaply, but it's gonna cost money to run it, you know, and you want it utilized as best you can for the community. It's a great building and it's already accessible to us. But there's like the farm idea, and the company comes in and puts it together. It's a 20 to 24 week timeline though, so that's really bummer, but we'd have it before, you know, say the middle of winter, maybe January. Is what I was thinking, so that was the rush, is that the snow's gonna fly, the ice is gonna come, and we don't want people buying their milk, their gas, and going out for dinner in another community. Why not keep it local, why not bring more kids into our community, and you can see the numbers within your packet, how many children there are in Olivia and Renville County under the ages of 5 as of the most recent 2023 survey. And then you can see each item that is listed in there, what it does for sensory STEM, the learning, you know, it does depict every single one of them. So that's what I'm here for today, is to, you know, build something exciting for our community, where I see the niche that we don't really have anything in the winter time, where you go with the kids. I believe Old School offers the like little tykes and play toys and maybe little tykes step 2 on Friday mornings. Well, that doesn't work for parents, grandparents that are working. It works for the daycare, you know, and maybe if you have the day off, but this would be more open to everybody. And I did ask 2 daycare moms, which I got all my information from, thanks to Carol and Lori. They did all the tough part, the background and the research of each item, and they know these were carefully sought out because they know which items the kids play with. You know, and there's a little airplane that's really fun, and they said, oh, the kids play with that all the time. Then I called Rob Vanderhagen from Bold School and said, could you help us with the farmer's market? Could you help us with a bridge? And the bridge is only a little bit of wood that they walk across. It doesn't open or anything, but Lori and Carol says the kids love to walk across the bridge. You know, so sit here, right here, these 2 items, and I promised Rob I wouldn't need them till May 31st. You know, because he's really busy right now, putting the school back together. But if you see the farmer's market, you know, that's something we could get a sign made for, but if they could make the outline and then containers, you know, wood boxes down below where we could put plastic fruits and vegetables, you know, so they get the concept of the farmer's market and how important that is. And everybody goes to the farmer's market, don't they, in Renville County? We're all looking at great fresh fruits and vegetables to utilize as well. So that's kind of the gist of it. I just wanted to know if you have questions, see if I have any answers. I don't know.
Any questions for Sarah?
Concerns?
So you're gonna put this material or these things, entertainment in Armory, the basement area?
In the lower
In
level.
the lower
There's
levels?
3 rooms, and then there's the
Middle.
cafeteria area, I would call it.
Yeah, and then they'll be there permanently, that was the idea?
Yes.
Okay, and then who's gonna then watch it and stuff during the day or when it's open?
Well, I'm not sure what the plan is for the city after after we're completely done with construction. And we've had a ribbon cutting and everything is settled, then we turn the warranties over, to the city. And then, I don't know, just a suggestion, I saw in the Renville County Shopper that they were seeking out a 0.4. The school was seeking out a 0.4 community education instructor. And if they have a community ed director for 16 hours a week, have their office there, work, build your relationship with the school. Because then you have a live body there all the, 16 hours, which is a good portion. I don't know, and then I also envisioned it as a Snap Fitness type thing. Where Kathy has a card, oh, that's Kathy coming into the building and cameras.
Yep.
I'm not sure that would have to be figured out. We're just looking at this, so it's just like pickleball courts, to strengthen our community relations, add more content, value to our community and make it so people want to stay here, especially in the dead of winter and it's not safe to be on our icy roads.
Yeah, and I mean, one of my goals with the community center, I mean, it was the right thing to do, I voted for it, right, to get that.
Oh,
I mean, it was a
totally,
good
yeah,
deal.
this is a great idea.
But how do we cash flow it? Cause we have zero extra money
Yeah,
in the
I
city.
understand that. So in Hutchinson at Wheel and Cog, if you've ever been there, Lori and Carol and many others, I'm sure can speak to Wheel and Cog. They offer memberships for families. So for example, my daughter and grandson go there for $125 a year. So I don't know, that's very expensive for a family, $10 a month.
Yep.
But I'm not sure if that's gonna solve your whole problem, but that community ed piece might work together.
Mhm. Cause that's the only thing that's missing in what I've heard, cause I mean, it looks wonderful, and then it's just, but if we have an ongoing capital cost. That catches up with you, even if it's just a few $1,000s a year, that's a few thousand we have to tax and then spend on that.
Yes, and that's why I'm also looking for a capital campaign going forward.
Cash flow is what I really wanna have happen in that community center and the pool, if we could do it, that's gonna be a ton.
Yeah,
So,
Sarah, am I correct in just kind of reading that you're trying to build momentum for this, we'll figure out management. Kind of on the back end with some conversations and things, you're just trying to see what the attraction level of the organization is at this point, is that kind of all right?
and community value.
It's a great idea, I'm always gonna be the sticking point's always gonna be the money for me. That's what I'm always gonna be worried about.
You'd buy a card?
You could buy a card or they have
Membership or whatever?
memberships, yes.
I think I was go up there today, it's not a free, I'll get in today. You have to-
They probably have that also. They have a consent form and then they have a membership.
But
we
again,
can
you
do
have
as
to,
a
you have
day.
to buy the admission to it.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. So like now you offer it free. So
Mhm.
how do you pay the help now?
We don't offer the armory for free.
Oh, how much is it now?
So it's $3 per person if you are 6 through 18, $4 for 19 through 59, and $3 for 60 plus. Or you can buy a 10 visit pass for $20, which goes down to $2 a visit.
And is that cash flow now?
No,
Insurance on
we're using our city hall intern, so we've already planned for a city hall intern this summer, and they're
That's
been
a
the
really
ones
nice idea.
who have been staffing the armory to help increase foot traffic and at least get it out there that it's free.
You just need an intern every quarter or every.
Yeah.
semester. And it'll be great. But
Yeah.
so I think that's
Their work study program.
The work study, but I think working with the community, like masters, the after school program there, they went to the churches and the churches helped in that respect too. I mean, so it's out there, maybe in the future a daycare, I know that's a real struggle within the county. But maybe that's something too, and I would love to, just get creative and brainstorm ideas with parents, grandparents and the council. I'm not opposed to that at all, whatever we can do to make it work.
Totally open to ideas to make it work, cause we have the space, let's use it for the community for sure, 100%. No problem with the idea, it's just how do we make sure it's sustainable?
Yeah, that's key. Because it's no good if you don't use it and it's no good if you can't pay for itself.
Exactly.
Cause you're gonna have to, you obviously have insurance on it, then you have employees, et cetera, and cleaners, I mean,
Yeah.
the list goes on.
And I think a lot of that is, like John said, at the back end of it. I really appreciate this and you bringing it to us. It's huge for our community, I think. It's a really big deal because we do have so many daycares and families, stay-at-home moms and homeschool children that could all utilize this. This is amazing. I am in awe. I really appreciate you guys bringing this to us. And it's not like we don't have to have the community center manned already. If people are going in there, we're already committed to that. So I don't think that's as big in the front end, but I really appreciate this. I just like, thank you for putting this together. It's amazing.
So I just question on this. When the daycare moms are taking their kids like to Redwood Falls, who pays for that? The daycare moms or the
Yes.
daycare moms? Can I ask you what it costs to go up there?
When I go to the community center in Redwood, they charge me $25. They charge me the family cost. So they give me a deal when I go. Children under a certain age are free, but they always charge me $25.
And of course, anytime that you go up there, I know people are, you have a partner that goes along too.
I usually go by myself.
Okay, so it's always, anytime that your kids are there or any other daycare kids, they have their own chaperone, if you wanna call it that.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
You'd want somebody 18-year-old.
Yes. And you have that rule already, don't you?
Yeah, we have rules about what ages you can have there and things like that, yeah. We have similar rules to the pool. You can't just like drop off your 6-year-old at our pool. So
Good, good.
you have to have some age requirements there, yep.
And this is the stuff we can work out, offline, come up with some solid strategies on how to move forward and manage it. And hopefully, help with the cash flow as well, but is any concerns from the council, or are we looking good to direct staff to work with Pages to build momentum on this project then? I think so. Yep. You guys
Yeah.
good with that? All right.
One more thing, John. I just wanna say, another great learning tool is this little pink pig, which goes along with the farm theme. And these are, on this side, it says save, spend, donate, invest. And here is a very clear example for children, a 3-year-old, oh, I'm gonna save, this I get to spend and go to the dollar store. This I'm gonna donate, this I'm gonna invest. So, this would be a great like ribbon cutting gifts, to give out, stuff like that. And also have everybody from the community bring a hardcover book so they can have buy-in and know that it belongs to them. And they can start the library with hardcover books too, the library, section. So, stuff like this, but this is a great learning tool. You get, get the idea across, sticks with the theme, the farm theme. And
That's cute.
agriculture. No, thank you. Any other questions?
So, can you tell us how the Page organization what would they be doing?
We would be gifting the initial at least $50,000 into the program.
Okay.
And we'll do a capital campaign and hopefully raise more to make it more interesting, more details, more fun items for the kids to go from station to station. And then the company comes and constructs the barn, the chicken that lays the eggs. That'll be interesting. And then the tractor too, they come and construct that on site.
Sure.
So that's, we could have a community day where we do like magnet tiles and stuff like that. There's a board that's about 92 inches by 46 inches with all the magnet tiles, but to get the boards on the wall, stuff like that. So we'd have the community involved as well, but that would be more the simpler tasks. These items will be constructed by the company that creates them.
I mean, that in itself would help draw people to wanna go to the community center and have a monthly pass or whatever.
And the fire station too is absolutely adorable, and it has a fire hose in there. And then you could have boots and jackets and, maybe the plastic hats for them to take home, and then say a ribbon cutting, they could have coloring books and coloring crayons, but no paint or coloring crayons in the rooms. That's a goal.
That'd be a good idea.
It's just not the right place for it.
Only Sarah's office.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And to put it in perspective for Mr. Bumgarner, just a thought is that so they opened one of these in Rochester. So my parents are from Rochester, a really big facility. And when it opened, a lot of people thought it was the most stupid thing, like who's gonna bring your kids to play indoors? That's so dumb. But it's $25 a pop per kid and it is bumping, like you have a wait list outside reservation, you get paid to go in. And
Wow.
that's, I think they have like a $300 or $400 yearly fee or membership cost. So I think you'd be surprised.
Yeah. And since there's other ones out there, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. They have the templates for liability and for membership. That we can borrow from another facility. One other piece that we haven't figured out where it comes from yet, that's very interesting, is a car. And the hood's open on the car, it's lightweight for little kids, but my grandson wasn't 2 and he was pouring water into the windshield wiper fluid area, and I'm like, how does she know how to do that? His dad doesn't do that at home, and it has a dirty filter and a clean filter. And he knows that, from doing it at Wheeling Cog and Hutch.
I'll have those kids tearing apart motors at age 3.
Doing pretend stuff.
Yeah.
Like in a room.
They are learning, and the kids, I see little girls in the airplane and they're just, really trying all the items.
Yeah,
out
it's really good to get exposure to all of that at a young age.
At a young
Build
age.
interest.
I think the other thing too, Sarah, that,
Yes.
that we have this center here. There are a lot of daycare centers that surround us.
Yeah.
So not only would we be bringing people in from other communities, we have our own here too. And I'm sure the daycare mothers from this community probably know other daycare care mothers from other communities. So the word does get around. And like having birthday parties, let's say that I had a birthday party for my 6-year-old. And I wanted to invite his class, or his or her class. And I didn't want to do it at my house because I don't have room, okay? This is an excellent spot to rent out, to entertain them for X amount of time. You've got the dining room next to us, and eventually I'm sure there'll be tables and chairs set up there.
There are
There
now,
are.
There are.
there are.
Okay, well, you're ahead.
Oh, yeah, my spring,
So it's got tremendous assets there. And I gotta tell you, I worked in that building for 35 years. And I was so concerned when they took the guard out. I did not like that at all, of course. I'm sure George didn't care about it either, because he was a member in there too. But we lost it, but maybe we gained something bigger than, recruiting was getting to be a real issue for that unit. And we knew it was coming. But by golly, if we can keep it open as a community center, and I think for all of us getting back of it, we can make it work. The big thing that you presented us with was the cost of the items for it. I mean, if we were coming here tonight saying, hey, we'd like to have $50,000 for you guys, why, we'd probably be outside by this time,
We can start like that next time.
Yeah.
Here's $50,000.
But I mean, it's quite a deal, and it's a first. That's one thing we need to do in the big city. We need to grow.
Yeah.
And you have some family moving in and they say, hey, look at what they've got, it's a selling point. Just like a hospital. Okay, I won't say.
Or swimming pool.
All right, everybody good on that item then?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you, Pages, for this project. We really look forward to working out some details and adding momentum to this project and hopefully bringing this wonderful opportunity to town. Okay, we're gonna move on to discussion item, which is resolution 76.
Mayor, I apologize if I might just interrupt briefly. Did we get a motion and a second to direct staff on the next steps for this project? I might have
We
missed
didn't
it.
get an official motion, but we can certainly make one.
Yeah, I can send.
That'd be great. Thanks.
I can make a motion to move forward with the Cornland USA project.
Second. Motion's been made by Ferguson, seconded by Howard to pursue the Cornland USA project. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Right.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, everybody.
You don't have to stay for this next part if you don't want.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
No, it's kind of anticlimactic.
I would love to stay.
Yes.
Very much.
I like your shirt, lady.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob. Okay,
I mean, not that the rest of our meeting won't be
Oh.
amazingly
That
exciting.
was it, I thought they were here.
everybody wants, I thought everybody's here for the family medical paid leave.
Right.
So we are getting some policies handed down to us from the state, right?
Yes, so the state of Minnesota is implementing a paid family and medical leave program beginning January 1st. So this program is funded by payroll premiums, which is shared between the employers, us as the city, and the employees. The employees cannot be required to pay more than 50% of the total premium costs. So the premium rate is 0.88% of your taxable wages. So that's 0.7% funds medical leave benefits, 0.18% funds family leave benefits. We have done our due diligence. The city has looked at private plans and we cannot get a cheaper private plan. Like, this is the best plan that we can get as the city. So we need council's input on what percentage of the PFML premium the city would like to cover. Again, the employee cannot cover more than 50%. So if we want to match that, that's 50%. If we want to go over that, we can of course go over, we can go to 75%, we can go to 100% if that's the council's decision. If we go at 50%, the estimated annual city cost is $8,000.
Per employee.
No, total. That's the total for the year. If we go to 75%, that's $12,000, and if we go to 100%, that's $16,000.
You know what it is by employee, like.
No, because it's based
50%.
off their taxable wages,
Sure.
so it would be 50% of 0.88.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have
0.44
that.
of their income,
Mhm.
which
And so we're just looking for guidance from you all over which percentage you would like us to.
Any word from league members, what the other towns are doing?
I think the standard is 50%.
Okay,
To be honest with you, it's that's, if there's a cost sharing, they're probably doing cost sharing, especially because this is new.
right.
this is above and beyond PTO, right?
Yes,
Can you opt out as an employee or?
this is a state mandated program.
Unfunded mandate.
Yeah. So no, we have to do it. It's just what percentage you all would like, and the resolution 2025-75 has a fill in the blank spot for whatever you all decide.
100% is 16,000 for all the employees. All year.
It's our annual cost. I'm confirming, you're looking at adults, so I'm confirming with Jasmine, yes.
John did the math, we can trust it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, well, when they, no,
I spoke to quite a few different people at the conferences we were at in Duluth, and a lot of the other communities are going with the 50% rate.
Yeah, I think that's what I would suggest, is 50% to start out with for this first year and see what's. Do what actually happens with it.
And see what the state's gonna end up doing going forward with this thing.
You never.
It's a new shiny penny right now.
I had a lot of pushback when it went through, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It did, but
That,
It passed,
from the
obviously.
minority, unfortunately,
Yeah.
that'll be changing here probably in a couple of years, though, so.
So I can say, as somebody who obviously wasn't a part of this organization when I had 2 children, but in my other job, I did have a paid leave. And like, it absolutely helped retain me at that company. Like, it was really nice to be able to take time off to care for a child, a loved one, to have my job. I understand that it was a burden placed on the employees, but it does help with employee recruitment, employee retention, employee mental health. Like, there's a lot of benefits to it. So I do understand the gripe about it being an unfunded mandate. I do think like it's a nice step in the right direction.
I absolutely agree that this is a step in the right direction.
Whether or not there's merit, it's the mandate.
Yep,
We just
it's a
gotta figure
mandate.
out what level we want to fund the mandate at.
So close 50%. So that motion. I don't know if everybody agrees before I make a.
We can make a motion, then we can discuss it.
So I'll make a motion to
Sounds
set
great.
it at 50%.
It would be different if there was money to fund it. There just isn't.
Yeah.
All of this stuff, we have to tax more and then spend it. So it's like, what are you solving? I'm not sure.
Motion's been made by Evers and seconded by Howard to. Put the city contribution towards this program at 50%. For the paid family medical leave program. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Right?
Any opposed? 50% is the number, motion carries.
Thank you all. Quick report, so included with your packet was an MMPA annual meeting presentation. Myself and utility account coordinator Jody Gilbert went to their annual meeting at the end of July. We continue to attend those monthly board meetings as well. And I think I'll let Blanca talk about, we just had a pool board meeting. George and John were at the EDA meeting, so I'll let you all cover those things.
Go ahead, George.
You
Hey, I'm like, wait, what?
wanna go?
No, go ahead.
No, well, ladies first.
We just discussed what the pool was opening and then about. An incident that happened at the pool that was being taken care of already, and then what we were,
Online registration
oh yeah.
is gonna
that-
be rolled out.
Yes, the online registration and how it's gonna be, who's gonna pay what percentage and how that's gonna all go, and it's getting started with that, so that's exciting. Moving forward in the digital world. And then. I think that's pretty much it, we kind of went over the budget and stuff like that, but
Was a superintendent there.
yes, I got to meet him,
Okay.
that was nice,
Good.
yeah. Very, seems very nice.
That's
Yeah.
He's commuting from Bird Island.
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh,
Mhm.
that's a long drive.
I know, I did ask him, I thought, why not Olivia?
EDA, we did end up, the EDA did end up winning the bid to get that land, I can't remember if we just talked about that last
The
meeting.
tax forfeited
The
land.
tax
Oh, nice.
forfeited land. So we do own that parcel now as the EDA, we're currently working on getting it rezoned. As B1 from, what was it, R2?
Yep, correct.
So once that process is done, that's gotta go through the planning commission, all that good stuff. Then we'll plan on marketing it and hopefully getting it sold.
That number was roughly 6,500.
It was just shy of 6,800 when you tack on all the fees.
And we went over our budget, we approved the EDA levy for this year, it's same as every year. Went up slightly just because the valuation went up. For the city, and then. Still,
Those are the highlights.
Hmm?
Those are the highlights.
okay.
I will say planning commission, just briefly, this is why you had on the consent agenda, the first reading of ordinance 2025-07. They passed the update to our sign code. So after a lot of months of hard work, sign codes are not easy. So.
Okay, any other reports from staff or council?
Was there a PUC last week? Cause that was.
There was not.
There was not,
Nope.
okay.
We will be having one in September.
Okay, we'll move into notices. Okay, budget work session tomorrow night.
Make sure Jasmine gets your food order before you leave. Otherwise, I get to pick for you.
Matt does have the sheet to write down what you'd like, so as soon as he's done, if you could just pass it down the road.
And also. Third Thursday,
Third Thursday, as well as outdoor movie in the park / in the pond of Turks Park. We're figuring out a potential for a new indoor location because it's quite wet out there. But we'll be showing Shrek on Thursday night. So we're really
Community
excited.
center.
Yes, I have yes, I have an email that says making sure that they can pivot to the armory if on short notice.
Cool.
So I've already started those conversations.
No mosquitoes during a movie?
Who knows? I don't know if there are mosquitoes in the armory.
All right. We're gonna move on to the next item, which is. Before I entertain a motion to close the meeting here. For the evaluation of City Administrator Elizabeth Torkelson, I want to state on the record that Elizabeth has the right to have this discussion conducted in an open and public meeting. She was informed of that right. It did not respond that she wished to exercise that right. Is that still the case?
That is still the case.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask for a motion to close the meeting pursuant to Minnesota statutes, section 13D.05 subdivision 3A to evaluate the performance of city administrator Elizabeth Torkelson.
So move.
Second. Motion has been made by Ferguson and seconded by Evers. To close the meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're closed.
Close meeting.
Second.
Motion's been made by Ferguson, seconded by Baumgartner to reopen the meeting out of closed session. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're going to go through the reopening process.
You can bring it back. You got the blue pen on the.
Yeah, I guess. Nice to see you.
Come on in.
Hey.
You can do introductions quick if you want, but
Want me.
Jasmine, right here,
Okay.
Jasmine's gonna change our technology quick, so don't start talking until she tells you to, but you can introduction.
Do we need the motion?
Nope, we don't need to close the session.
Thank you. All right, see you on the other side, Micaiah.
Hi, Blanca.
Blanca, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Ready?
All right, we're coming out of closed session here, where the council had reviewed Elizabeth's performance over the last year, including a review of the 360-degree analysis. And the council feels that Elizabeth is meeting expectations. So right now, I'm gonna call for a motion to approve resolution 77, which is a step movement for the city administrator.
Second.
Motion's been made by Evers, seconded by Ferguson to approve resolution 77. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution 77 carries. All right, our next item for business here is a legislative update. We have Representative Van Binsbergen here to let us know some of the things that will be affecting the city coming down from the state.
Oh, well, thanks for having me today. Appreciate that, and it's just good to be here and I think I'll just kind of start and give you a little background about myself. And sure can open it up for any questions you might have, and I'll give you just a little recap of what transpired in St. Paul as well. I'm from Montevideo. I grew up there and started a business there probably 28 years ago. And my wife and I lived there. We have 3 children. I started and I've owned probably 11 or 12 different companies. And at our peak, we had about 250 employees. I've bought, sold different things. I still have a business. We have about 100 employees. And so our main offices are in Montevideo, and we also have an office in Topeka, Kansas. And about a little over a year ago, Representative Dean Erdahl was the representative. He'd been representing in the legislature for 22 years. He had decided he was going to retire. And so he called me and he said, "Hey, I'm thinking of retiring and I'd like you to consider doing this." So I went home and I told my wife, and I didn't do anything right away. And she said, what's the deal? You come home, you complain about what's going on in state government. It's time for you to step up, buddy. And so I did. And, you know, when you do these things, this isn't just like a handoff. where the old legislator just hands it to you and says, here you go. You've got a campaign there's a whole process to that, as you know, you know, I worked hard at the campaign. And I'm working hard at this job as a legislator. I got into this because I believe that people need to step up and they need to give back and they need to serve. Just like all of you are doing, serving. And so I just want to thank you, each of you, for your commitment to what you're doing. I got into this because I wanted to serve. I thankful that the voters felt that same way. I've only been at this for a short period of time. I got elected in November with about 72% of the vote. And you know, it's for 28 years, I've been running a business. And so this has been a big change in my life, but it's been something that I feel is really important. I'm doing this because I care greatly about what's going on in rural Minnesota, a real passion for our small towns. I grew up in Montevideo. I graduated from the high school there, went off to college, and been fortunate to raise. I have 3 kids. I've been fortunate to raise them also. One went to graduate from Binsbergen, but the other 2 are graduated from the high school in Montevideo. In fact, I still have one still in high school. And so I got elected in November. I went to St. Paul, and you know, it was an odd situation this year. It's been really quite a unique session. As y'all know, we started the session, half the chamber did not show. And so for the first 24 days, 23 days, there was just half the chamber. And it really set us back. However, for a person that's just starting this, it gave me a little extra time, a little extra window. There's a big learning curve anytime you're taking on anything like this. I thought I'd just hop right in and I'd have all the answers. You know, you learn real quick. I do know now where the bathroom is and I know where to park my car. So we've accomplished that. I'm kidding, but it was an unusual start. Before I tell you a little bit about what took place during the session, I would like to just leap way ahead and say, you know, what took place a month ago with the Hoffmans and the Hortman family. You know, it's just so shocking to me when the local sheriff are calling and they're concerned and they're informing us what's going on, and I just totally denounce any of that stuff, any political violence. It's hard to get my arms around. I didn't know Melissa, you know, like I said, I did not know Melissa that well. But one thing I did know about her is she was extremely kind. Got to know, she spent time, she got to know me as a freshman. Not deep, we probably didn't agree on many things politically, but as a person, she was very kind to me, and I appreciated that. And I think that civility it needs to be more in politics, and you know, clearly it's a very divisive place. So you know, I've seen that we've all grown up with political violence and people taking shots at presidents, and it's quite astounding that you know, this has come to the state legislative level, and you know, I know even in other states there were some instances that had taken place at the city level. So it's just I guess I hope this is just a one-time thing, and so I just want you to know that I was at that funeral. My heart goes out to those 2 kids that lost a mom and dad senselessly in a situation like this. So That being said, the session was, I kind of would relate it, you know, it's my first session, I kind of relate it to a football game. There weren't a lot of points scored on either side. And you know, if the ball started at the 50, it would kind of go back and forth and it kind of ended at about the 50. And maybe that's okay. 2 years ago, you know, it was a lot different place, a lot different, you know, it was much different what happened 2 years ago. I don't come here to give you a partisan speech. I try, I guess I come here to give you common sense, and that's how I can tell you like I see it, but just the plain simple facts, 2 years ago, the Democrats had control of all three branches. There was a huge surplus of money. There was an $18 billion surplus in that 2 year span. All that money is gone. People ask, well, where did the money go? I have this question asked all the time. Where did that money go? People are upset. And the fact is that money went everywhere. And you know, there was a lot of new hires that took place over that 2 year period. About 6,000 new employees, agencies grew, and taxes were raised. So I think this session, you know, like I said, you didn't see a lot of movement. A couple positives that I will take out of it is we were looking at some it's a budget year. This was a budget year, and so Minnesota is a balanced budget state, and we actually cut spending for the largest. We had the largest spending cut in the history of Minnesota. Now, granted, 2 years ago, the place before I got there, they spent like crazy, but we actually spent $5 billion less in this biennium versus the 2 years ago biennium. So I think that's a plus. I think there's lots of work to be done. I look at one of my roles. I'm on two committees. I'm on the Commerce Committee, and I'm on the Health Committee. And when you're new, you're just kind of pointed in a direction. I'm like, and I understood how I got on the Commerce Committee because I'm my business background, and I didn't know how they put me on healthcare. And you know, there's two places where a lot of the money is spent in Minnesota. One's in education, and one's in healthcare. And so I kind of look at one of my roles in this job as a protector of the taxpayers and their dollars. I want to see our towns grow. I want to see taxes less, not more. And so I'm very cognitive of the financial statements of, you know, I like to dig in, and I've done that a lot in my business career, and so I'm focused in on the economic health of this state. Yeah, and I plan to continue to stay focused. Also, but I say that I also want to say I want to make sure that rural Minnesota is getting its share as well. If there are things out there that and whether it be in education or healthcare or business dollars, they're out there, you know, and they're going to be and they're going out. I want to make sure that rural Minnesota's got a seat at the table. It is really important to me. So, but again, I do go back to the fact that taxes are heavy in this state, and you know, I encourage you as a council. I think one of your, you know, and you hear it from the property owners and in the community, their property taxes are a concern for them. Mm-hmm. And you know, I just encourage you to keep that in mind and do what you can to, you know, I know a lot of people are in fixed incomes, and so It's been a real education for me. I am looking forward to getting to know each of you. One of my goals is to get to every town. You've hired me, and I hope you use me. You got things that come up, you have issues that arise, or you need some direction. If I can help, I want to, we're a partnership, we're a team. I just caught a little bit before, with the whole session you were discussing Elizabeth. I just want to say, I believe she's a very good advocate for the community of Olivia. She's been in St. Paul a couple times, and we've had a couple really good talks, and I appreciate that. So
Thank you.
One thing that session is over right now, and we will be gearing up again next year. One thing that as I'm new, starting to make connections and meet people, I'm also have been going to all the cities, almost getting into the schools. And I plan to sit down with the school city administrators the superintendents and the principals, and I want to get into this. I want to get into the classroom. I want to be able to talk to our young people. I've been employing people all my life, and I want our youth. I believe our future is in our youth, and they're what's going to stabilize and grow our communities. I've always struggled when hiring people, to hire them outside of, trying to get them from a large metropolitan area is tough. Yeah. Or almost impossible. But the ones that I can get are the ones that they're connected here. And they're either their families are here, or most of them have went to school here. And I think something I want to do is I want these young people to know that they're wanted, they're needed here, whether it's working in a trade, or whether it is starting a business. Start a business. I want it to be in Olivia if they're from here. And so I'm planning to get into all the classrooms, and I want to talk to our young people. I want them to know they're loved, and that we want them here. And just as Jasmine, when I was coming in here, I was listening to her story. It's just, she was off in California, and here she is back in Olivia, raising a family and living here.
Again, Micaiah, our city attorney, will be moving back home here soon too, right?
That's a nice comment to welcome me back, Mayor, and maybe someday. But Representative, I am from the Olivia High School, so now coming full circle, I work at a law firm that's based out of the Minneapolis metro area, but to be able to come into these meetings and fill in for city attorney in my hometown is very special.
It is. Well, there's something special about living and, raising a family in a small community. It's just a great experience. So I guess I wanted to open it up as if anybody had any questions of me, any thoughts.
I guess my comment that I would ask you to keep in the back of your mind when you're making decisions and stuff, with my city hat on, I think that our major problem is almost boring to talk about, but it's demographics. Where we have a shrinking population, long-term has been shrinking, continues to shrink, looks projected to shrink. Meanwhile, everything else kind of raises in cost, just as time goes on, inflation, whatever, right? And so we have fewer and fewer backs that are carrying heavier and heavier loads in order to maintain the community that we remember we have, that what we do have. And so like even our wide roads, we started to narrow the wide roads because that just costs more to have a wider road, both in maintenance and everything else. And so if you're on healthcare and there's opportunities to fundamentally change the game, and sometimes that means we don't cover those drugs that give you a 2% chance better of beating cancer or something like that. You know, those are really tough things. I get, and you can spin it and make people sound like they're the devil, but it, there's just fundamental problems in the economy that you can't hardly afford healthcare. And then in these rural areas, then everything else gets to be stretched in as well as you try to cover. We can't even replace our city street number 7 here in the north side of town. The engineers say don't even put sealant on it. It's not worth it because it's shot, it's gone. And I can't see myself voting to spend the 20 million it would cost to do that anytime soon, like in the next 20 years. We just, you know, we have $1.5 million tax roll, roughly, maybe $1.8 million tax roll. And like, there's just not a way to make the ends meet. And so we've got to, I feel, start to cut services so that we can be sustainable into the future. And if we don't, you know, you might not want to do that, but if you don't, you're gonna fall off the cliff. And it's gone too far, and like, I'm more left leaning than I am right, and look how I sound, right? I mean, it's the reality of the situation. You know what I mean? And so we need fundamentally different ideas on these big topics.
Well, and you know, as healthcare is a huge cost of healthcare is such a unbelievable, you know.
Well, you don't get much for it.
Well, in my, you
Well,
don't.
right, I mean, the cost of healthcare itself is an issue, like, why am I
Just to
paying
even have insurance.
$10,000?
Outside of my business, outside of payroll, my number one issue every year. And I dread it every year, is sitting down and looking at, you know, my renewals. And they have escalated so much, and it was, you know, as I got there this year and I was learning some of the ropes, and I'm like, we didn't discuss in St. Paul, which I think is critical, how are we gonna lower premiums for people? How are we gonna lower costs? That discussion really didn't happen. And I
What do you think that is?
I believe there's just a tremendous amount of mandates that have been pushed onto the healthcare system over the last number of years.
Yeah.
And I should say, we had a little, there was, reinsurance was passed this year. There was a reinsurance bill that was pushed through. And if that, I look at reinsurance as kind of more of a Band-Aid to, it was cash that was injected in to basically keep premiums from going absolutely really high. And what I meant is, I don't, you know, we didn't fundamentally talk about how we're really gonna lower premiums. And I think that's a, you know, a discussion that I hope people in St. Paul want to have, because I do. If reinsurance would have been passed this year, we would have saw premiums really jump on the private employers. I shouldn't say the private employers, on the individuals. So say a farmer that's insuring himself and he goes out to the open market, his premiums probably would have been 30% more than they already are. And that's not sustainable healthcare costs. So there's a lot of big issues. That's clearly one of them that, you know, I'm concerned about, because I just know what a rough effect that is on businesses and families.
It's an economic development issue.
It really is.
Well, and there's also the housing issue, it's hard to get people out here when you don't have a house for them to buy. You know, where are they gonna live? It's not like, we've had people that wanna live here, but there isn't anything for them to buy. Now the market is opening up more, but it was at the point where if there was a house for sale, you grab it.
Elizabeth moved it down.
There was nothing.
There was
Yeah.
literally nothing.
Literally.
Is there land available?
Yes.
And lots that are, you know.
So
Yes.
we have land available, the lots, like we have a full development planned out, but it's gonna cost $1 million to put in the infrastructure. Which is parceling off those lots, putting in not even curb and gutter, just a road with utilities under it. So we have the space to build, but getting the infrastructure and the utilities there is what is currently stalling us. is
How long does it
taking
take to get $1 million of tax back? I mean,
I mean, we can look at that with Jason Murray and our, and then figuring out what you wanna sell those lots at as well to either try to recoup.
Does the
those
city own the land?
Yes, the EDA owns the land, yep,
That's, so you're not, so you can somewhat control that.
yes,
And
yep,
the other issue, once you do have the land and the buyers and all that, it costs astronomical amount just to build.
I know it does.
Because most of it's mandated by overzealous building codes that err on the side of safety, but it's just lining the pockets of unions.
we have a little bit of an epidemic of safety, I feel like. You know, when you see stickers in your kids' cars that say, be careful, these tires can get caught in your hair. Like,
Hit the warning labels.
like, why are we doing that?
You know, I tell people this, I don't have a magic wand to economic development, however, I know it's the key to our community surviving. I think you've got a great community here, and it's, you know, obviously agriculture is based on ag and I see so many spin-offs and so many opportunities that have taken place here in Olivia. And it's all around ag, and which I think is a positive, or a lot of it is around ag, and I think you're poised for good things to come. And if I can help in the facilitation of things, I like I said, I hope you use me. That's my background, is in economic development and in employing people. So I look forward to serving you and working with you, and you know, I'm just excited about, I'm excited about this community, so I think it's poised for good things to come.
I will say in the vein of trying to keep taxes low, local government aid is really helps us
Yes,
with
and
that, so
there, I was
Yep.
supportive of that,
Yeah.
and
we
obviously.
appreciate your support,
And will continue to be.
so.
You will find I'm very conservative in a lot of things. Just because I think, you know, I think we are in a state that is not as business friendly as I would like to see us. So, I work closely with your senator. You guys are fortunate. Andrew Lang is right here in town. Him and I work hand in hand a lot of things, and you know, he's been very helpful to me as I've, you know, as I'm in the House, he's in the Senate. But a lot of these bills have come up, and we've had some discussions about a lot of them that I've like, you know, we went back and forth on things. So, been a good person for me to help get my feet wet, so.
Just sitting in this chair, the decisions we have to make are not easy all the
No.
time, you know, so I don't necessarily envy your.
You know, it's, again, they aren't, you'll have hard decisions, you know that, there's hard decisions coming, that's part of this business, and. But you're here because you care, you care about this community, and appreciate that, so.
Well, we appreciate any other comments or questions for Representative?
So I'm gonna leave some business cards. And if anybody would like, there's a sheet here, you know, I've always been producing a newsletter, produce regular newsletters, and you kind of want updates of what's going on in St. Paul. Be happy to make sure you're getting all that information, so I'll leave this, and if somebody wants that. You can send it to me.
Yep.
And here's some extra cards, business cards, if anybody wants them. I got my personal cell is on there, so you call me, and I do have a legislative, I have assistant in St. Paul, and that number's on there too, so, okay.
Wonderful.
Appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
by.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Thank you for your continued advocacy in rural Minnesota.
Absolutely, well.
Scott, did you run back in like the late '90s?
I did,
Okay.
and then I decided, I thought, well, politics was over for me, and I just. Went off, I'd started business, and I was good with that, and then, like I said, Dean called, and. I decided, well.
Never say never.
Gotta write some more books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for your comments. Okay, good.
Take care. Tell them print for 3% of all.
Hey, you do that, okay? Yeah. See you later. Bye, Jasmine.
Bye, nice to meet you.
You too.
Okay, well, there's no other business on the agenda. I'll call for a motion to adjourn. So,
Second?
motion's been made by Evers, seconded by Baumgartner to adjourn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
You.